Full of learning. They're now trying revenue. It's not more fancy. As I really say, income tax definitely a lot of evolving every year, every quarter, as you should say. So today we have a distinguished panelist who are going to address certain questions which we had gathered from Google. We can take three questions in the meeting, and maybe even have an open Q&A session also. In case if you have any other questions, you can add it. Then it's much more clear. I will raise the question. We request both the panelists to share their insights over the same. So thank you, panelists, for the order which you have given me. So we'll start with the basic question over here, and the question is majorly the highlights of major changes which have happened in ITR 1 and 4. This is specifically related to capital gain. So there was why it was not earlier allowed, etc. There are many questions around it. So I like the panelists to take over this particular question.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, I will let you know that those questions we have set it out. We have discussed with the ma'am. Normally, if we have 50 questions, 25 are relating to all the heads except capital gains. And after 25 questions, problems which not income because of 25 select amendments, questions of capital gains. So we have distributed in a way that will deal with all the other heads and we will deal with capital gains section. Regarding the question regarding capital gains on ITR 1 and 4, initially capital gains, if you have capital gains, you are not supposed to file written ITR 1 and 4. Who actually file 1 and 4, everyone knows that it income should be less than 50 lakhs and it should not have any income more than 5,000 now. Here they have introduced that you can also show capital gains, but the income should be less than 1,25,000. The reason behind it, it knows that 25 तक तो ऐसे भी टैक्स नहीं the biggest crux is that in year 2 and 3, if you are having a capital gains and in a long-term capital gain, you have to give the details script wise. If you don't give script wise, anyway for grandfathering you have to give script wise. So example, you are sharing your purchase in 2022 and selling in 24. After making your equity share, it concern. Accept. If there is a grandfathering, compulsory you have to give script wise. Normally now, majority of the brokers give taxpayer file. You just have to input on it and everything gets captured. Resume how many just use the utilities to file returns out of this? How many use the utility? God bless you, sir. Really problems. Because utility are so maybe you may be thinking it's easy, but utility you can just file 5 returns in a day. Normally the software people use because not that too easy, but it is that there are जहाँ पे आपको दिमाग नहीं लगाना है वहाँ पे आपको क्यों दिमाग लगाना है so all things software so you can around towards new lenses building software so software now business file important file in your software everything gets captured in this for the only change is that third part no it's not but they use the schema of the income tax only CBDT only.
No. They're very much trident.
Utility, we can see everything is finished. In idea, one is for only one change capital gains. Give details. If your capital gains is less than 1,25,000, they are not asking any script details. You just have to mention, I purchased for 10 lakhs, I sold for 11 lakhs, and that's all. Even if you say your purchase is 20 crores and sell is 10 crores, you will find either the profit is less than 125, it is accepted. In other, you have to give script by details. In other work, you don't have to give script by details. That's only that everyone had to introduce. Earlier, why they didn't introduce, we didn't know. But this year, because for the ease, they have given up to 125, you can go for idea 1 Thank you.
Excuse me, he was telling right. We cannot rely on the third party software because I have to do the third party. I don't know you can do. It is approved, but there is a big blunder happened by Women as well as the ITC. One of my clients has been submitting his returns since last 5 years. but it was a U return, okay? So we cannot go to the,
But you return compulsory, you have to go a utility.
yeah, this is what I'm telling you. So I opt for the windmill. But the article, he put the name instead of Khan, he put the Sheikh. When the windman has accepted process, IT, our portal side also accepted, and finally print out came. The she told me, sir, my surname is wrong. You understood? Now the
Correct.
software and the income side, so many glitches are still there. But
Yeah, okay, fine.
this is the basic fundamental mistake done by the software as well as the IT portal.
Correct.
And the software, some software, they are not extracting all the details of bank
Before
interest.
coming on these questions, we have lots of examples. Utility also not perfect. And also, it is also field basis. See, if you can file 10 returns in a day on utility score, it will not happen. In all those things, you can go because one more thing is that in utility, you already have the data of last year. If capture everything, all data, everything. Well, that part you don't have to only realize. 36A, for example, if you are having dividend from 50 companies, utility will not capture the state price. But the AIS report probably gets interest.
Now we are all from morning to now we are talking about telling the first speaker and all that utilities are not perfect, so they are existing expenses. There's some in the newspaper also
Correct.
symbols of Allah. Maybe the slow go, then we go to find.
I will let you know one minute. All the softwares are 99% perfect. Neither utility, neither software. Everyone are 99.9% perfect. Still, they have some bugs. So that bugs will only come when you have an accident. Only if there is an accident, you will never come about that bug. I know one of my private limited companies. Is F. You always know that what authority it is F, it is always partnership. It cannot be a private limited company. Still, the system has another a PAN number with F alphabet. And you compulsory file on this utility only. Because income tax portal will accept it. But all the software will never accept it because they have already done it. This thing is not a problem. There are lots of things in this thing, but normally you got the answer that out of 70, only 3 are using utility. So then the answer why they are using software that different thing. Thinking that you have to use this or you have to you whatever comfortable with, you can use that. That is the easiest way to do this.
No, actually, sir, this income tax department, they are running by crisis. One should run proactively.
What you can do is, you can prepare the utility, generate the JSON file on the private software and you can try it on the department utility, you can cross verify it and you can then upload it, that will be more perfect, right? So can get the best, can get the extra advantage of it, that will be the correct. That is the right approach.
Private software generated this.
Then one thing,
But system,
let us not argue with these things and what is correct and what is whether green came first or whether eight came first. This is not the question, this thing will never end it. So this is the right approach. That is you generate JSON file on that and run it on the private utility and see this government utility and see this. And second thing is that this departments utilities are more reliable and thing is that without department schema private software people will not be able to generate the utility because that is mandatory. They are required to be registered on the income tax portal. Without that, they cannot generate this. So what is the thing? So the government can never end over there.
Number one, get that.
All the same.
Number two, HDFC Bank and all recommend.
All the same.
All of
Even 24 rupees is also same.
I think very nicely our panelists have addressed this particular second part of the question, and I'll always suggest that whatever software whatever software utilities you're referring to, final check अपना ही होना चाहिए, right? So that is endless, and that is where you can charge to your clients.
And second thing is that whatever the computation which is generated, I will always recommend. So verify apply your mind and say that the computation is correct or not, and then you will apply it. That is the right potential final.
Okay, I think we've sorted this particular question. We'll move to the next. Now, this is a very simple question, but it is very complicated for the people who have faced it, and that is wherein Aadhaar card is not yet received or not linked. right? So what is the option of filing the IT returns?
From this year, that is Aadhaar card is mandatory to file the return. Without Aadhaar card, you cannot file the return because Aadhaar enablement ID is not valid now. And first thing is that if the Aadhaar is not linked to the IPR, you will have to first link the Aadhaar. Then only you will be able to file the return. That is only for the resident individual. Second thing for non-resident, it is asking for the Aadhaar card to file. Many people will be facing that issue. So what you have to do is that you have to write to the jurisdictional assessing officer. That first you have to do it in the profile. You have to register this case as a in the profile, make it as a non-resident, and you write to the CPC and the jurisdictional assessing officer to make it as a non-resident. And once you make it as a non-resident, then it will allow you to file the return.
Okay. We move to the next one, and that is IT returns, whether IT returns are to be filed for salaried persons. If all the taxes are deducted by the employer and he has no other income, still the IT return is to be filed.
Now, any person who is having the income above the taxable limit are required to file the return. So basically, whether the TDS is deducted or not deducted, TDS is deducted means he has to file the return. And he wants to file the tax paid or not, that is, he has to file the return, it is mandatory to file the return. Because many people come now, I was just when we were there in the chairman's cabinet at that time, one phone had come now, the limit has become 12 lakhs rupees. So was shocking that 12 lakhs rupees, where then the limit was 12 lakhs. 12 lakhs has never become. That this is something shocking because now under the impression that the limit is 7 lakhs rupees. 7 lakhs limit is not there. It's only basically the 87A relief which has been given.
Exactly.
Because of that, tax liability is not there. So, but even if your limit is above taxable limit, this taxable this income, then you are required to file the. So TDI, this return is required to be filed.
Okay. In case the PAN is not valid, but still the person wants to file the return, is it possible?
PAN is not valid, then also return can be filed. Only the thing is that refund, if there is any refund which is there, we will not be getting the refund. Till the PAN is becoming invalid, return can be filed for the non-invalid PAN. Refund will be kept on hold. You will have to make the PAN valid. For some any other reason, if the reason has to be seen for what reason the PAN is not become valid, but the return can be filed. It can be uploaded.
No, I have seen when there is a no link with the PAN or Aadhaar. It's
So
not
for that reason, what reason is there? So if it is linked,
that is the.
so then you could
That
say
is one reason.
yes.
And another thing is that your bank account should be linked with the bank account.
Bank that reason has to be seen. That
Yeah.
reason has to be seen for what reason it is there. So earlier till last year it was allowing the return to be filed and refund was not being released.
No. Last year also it was not allowed.
Some cases
It took 15 days for me
some
to update the PAN
case
card from the, finally I raised the complaint.
depends.
They sent the email. 15 days gone and then it got.
Some cases should not be there, but because generally system was allowing, system is being allowing. Some cases, very rare cases that was not allowing it. 23 cases basis is because generally as per the law, it has to allow to file it. And as per the law, you cannot restrict to file it. Sorry, that's absolutely correct. Last year, the returns were supposed to be filed only the allowance linking was done. But on 30th and 31st July, they removed that law. And people were filing returns without linking also. Because they came to know that when return you will file, linking can be done afterwards. Second thing, regarding your bank, that is, you have to try to get a refund. If you are file the return, something is very active. For bank, what only to
One digit was more.
Okay, that means secondly, normally yes, there will be if you have any account. This is account. It's only now there are sorry, before that thing only. State person that time before 30th September 2020. Still on the traces, lots of demands are pending because of inoperative pen. Still, people are ready that 30 September, maybe after 30 September, they will late and not able to do it. Obviously, they are told that if TDS return is done, on September, the system. Because of that, they were told that you just need to message to our client and our company start and first message also. Yes, really, if it is not really the other before 30th September, then it is not your responsibility because then the TDS will be exorbitant if you are not well reading that time. So that was the point. If it is never it's not fair. Now on the system it doesn't get fired because compulsory availability is there. Initially, say on 15th September, if they remove the law, we can do it in one month.
Okay. The next question what we've received, whether for foreign SSCs, return filing is mandatory.
Of course, it is filing is mandatory. If they are having income on the authority media, for example, a foreign citizen, if they are having any capitalizing income or rent property, which is more than compulsory to file the return. Or your status will not receive it, and they will only take all the incomes or in India or from a state in India. Unless foreign income is not able to disclose, they are mentioning on it.
Okay. In case of interest paid on loan for property, whether regime old or new, any major changes there?
I think if something is really covered in the whole day, you will not immensely use it. So, bata dena is okay.
Cover?
In old regime, you know all the interest has to be level you get it. In sorry, if you were at the institution, they would go up the in so property you don't find any. Especially mentioned in marketing, if you are okay, that letter property tool like you don't get it. Whatever negative figure is there, it gets changed to measure on the stupid. For your the is not calculating that the loss of investor also. So maybe there is a bug in the utility, but it is not aligning as what data. Maybe if the process the return and they get carry forward, it's okay. Otherwise, if you receive interest on whole, either let out SOP, they are not allowed. If they are just mentioned that it will be a carry forward. But if it is happening, please check before filing.
So it is not automatically coming as carry forward, then it's manually.
No, utility there is no option of putting in manually. Yeah, see, I know that law is supreme. In India, there are two laws. One is prepared by CBT and one is prepared by Air Forces. There is respect. There are two laws. Second thing is CBT.
Enforces, you can't say that it is prepared by.
Prepared is they have mentored
They have been told or they are not.
So they are told language. So what is happening? Second thing, CBT. The CBT will listen to the future finance will listen to CBT. There is also business government. One thing is that you know the salary accountant practice, and you know that you go with practical approach. And you know that if a client gets a demand of 500 rupees, you know he's right and he's correct. You can give him advice that's a appeal.
No.
Technically, in this, this is so what the time to December? December का time है ना? You just get correct. Particular December, you have the time. If something happens, something is not happening, you wait. Wait for another 3 months. After 3 months, you have that option.
I just wanted to know whether there was a solution.
No, still there is no solution. If really, yes, that solution. Revise the solution for everything. If it is getting
That is
Whether in case of equity, debenture, bonds, warrants, factor listed or non-listed, what is the impact in tax calculation?
Now, in the new system of capital gains, any equity, any debenture, any warrants and bonds. In case of equity bonds, it is listed, definitely you know 12.5%. Unlisted, it is also 12.5%. Now the rate of tax. Only is a to be listed, it is a 12 months or 9 months. To be unlisted, it is 24 months. Only in case of unlisted debentures and warrants. It is not 12 months, it is neither 24 months. The rate is your income, whatever in whatever slab you are there, you can say only the change in unlisted debentures. There is the capital gains, but they have told that there is no rate, whatever rate you are in which you are slab, you pay the tax on it. There is only change, otherwise it is listed unlisted. You have to pay tax 2.5%. Only the period has changed. It is 12 months or unlisted it is 24 months. After 24 months only it will begin income.
Okay. Many times we've seen in AIS that dividend which comes in AIS does not actually tally. So what is the reason for the same?
Yeah, see, since I think I just attended cycle of sir, people में कहीं सर इससे भरोसा करना है, 20 पे करना है, AIS पे करना है, TIS पे करना है, सर आपके डेटा पे भरोसा करना है, लेकिन your data is also 100% perfect, you are not sure because things are very vague. Normally phase, that's why I'm telling you. Normally AIS says your AIS, EIS and 20 AIS are reporting only those things which somebody ever reported.
Correct.
If some company has updated, you must, I know, I have received, for example, if this cement or something is there, I have received a dividend of 300 rupees. Still on my AIS, nowhere it is mentioned. But then if my dividend is 10,000 rupees, I am 1,300. Because I have received it. The only problem is that why it is not matching in some cases is that you must be thinking, normally how dividend people are calculating, जब आया वो मेरा income. इससे कब issue किया मैंने? So please, those dividend you have received on 5th April, 6th April, 7th April or 15th April, sir check your AIS. Sometimes it happens that has been issued on 31st March only. आपके घर पे वो 15 अप्रैल को आया because that is the RTGS what they have done on 15th April. Basically, it was issued on 31st March only. Why I can say because initially now everyone gets dividend online only. Online. I was not having a demat account which was linked with any account. So I used to get checks. I used to deposit. 31st May, I used to get checks where the date was written 31st March. So I was supposed to offer it. So that is the reason in AIS sometimes people say वो match नहीं कर रहे. तो match इसलिए नहीं कर रहे कि check next 15 days में कुछ ना कुछ ATM आना होगा इस दिन में तो last. So it really होगा तो no issue payable. As we discussing, in terms of release, will you capture from AIS? Those where will be. This problem is a general problem. If the company has changes, problem is that when you the company have investment using now the also Hindustan Unilever. And when the company filed SFT, at that time it came HUL. So sometimes or double. If you see in 26 years or there, there are no easy. Only return is Hindustan Unilever 10,000. The information came from SFT. Another 10,000 information came from TDS. Sometimes 2 times it is there. So please check. Normally it is impossible. आपको अगर 200 कंपनी का डिविडेंड आता है, it is very not possible. But still, if you can check it out, or check the name. Sometimes the same method is there. 12,400, 12,400. Okay. Only it's like something English use it. So in that case, the dividend will never match.
So 99% of the time it should be correct, right?
That is the only hope we have because we don't have that time to make it check. It's not possible. This only happens where if you have a data, for example, client has told you that I have received dividend 10,000 and your AIS says the dividend is only 4,000. But you have to check it out. Okay, why there is so much discrepancy? Whether you have worked on it, then only check. Hardly 200, 300 rupees, 500 rupees difference, nobody will bother also. And second thing is the problem is that people knows what dividend he got. उसको कभी मालूम नहीं होता कौन सा TDS component in that. If you get a dividend 18,000, people will just tell 18,000 and you will go with SARS and then dividend In this income, the TDS of the 2000. So that is the political problem. For that only, we have high chartered accountants.
Sir, in case of sale of property,
It will come. We have lots of questions. This question will come. Sale of property, TDS,
no, not TDS. In the AIS, in case of loan, there is a part agreement, part payment, understand? And then after they release the check, then another agreement. Or before, okay.
Correct.
So in AIS, the agreement value or it is registered 2 times.
correct.
Okay, so this sub-register, they are sending the details. So it is showing that you have sold, the sale consideration is 60 plus 60. Correct?
For that only, sir, I think last lecture, sir told, they will know whether it is correct or not. If you input it, they ask, demand is correct, demand is partly correct, demand intent to come to see. अब वो आप करो, is there no
Feedback submit.
feedback submit.
Submit feedback, this relates to this.
This is not to this. There is only option. These are information they give. If it is not correct, give option. Then this is not related to me. Not only this problem, sometimes happens. These all errors are because somebody is filing wrong. Sometimes what happens, you make a deal of say, how much? 15 lakhs, you pay a wife's name. When you pay the TDS, they will ask you what is the total amount. People, some chartered accountants, some people, what they do, it's not filing for now. It's only mentioned 50 lakhs. It's filing for why you only mention 50 lakhs. You have to mention the agreement value only. So example, your tax because of mention date of agreement and amount of only. And this is mentioned amount. I mentioned it's only 10 lakhs. So mention that anything. So it can become 10 for all time. It will only. People are doing that way sometimes, not to take this उनको लगता है कि only 50 lakhs. It was straightly mentioned, it is total agreement value irrespective of your share. Only your share you have to mention only 2 places. One is that how much payment you are making, and second specifically written amount value as per the stamp duty act, bracket is written, please mention the proportion of your share. Do not mention the full share.
As you are talking about in the name of joint
Joint,
agreement,
yeah.
husband and wife or 3 sisters, 3 brothers. I am talking about the same SSE.
But your option is, you just deny it.
No, I got the notice also. I said, why you are wasting your time, you are wasting the government and our money. And you have, how many times,
Sir, you cannot argue with them.
I have, finally,
Then it is not, then you are wasting your time.
I told them, you are sitting in the government department, you are sending just 9 notice, taking double, with so many, you are not sending, it's not in our hand.
No,
No, it's not in our hand. This is not done. You have to be what is right.
that is there.
One time you are getting.
Not in our hands. It is not in our.
Then I think,
Not in our.
best over here is to use your wisdom and take the best call.
ICAI is representing the committee.
You can write to the right.
Selection committee.
Right, sir, you can write to dtc@ICI.in where you can cover this.
No, there was one speaker, he's sitting in the Gujarat. I asked him, sir, is this the time?
Sir, we have restricted time restricted.
No, you are not solving the problem. No. And question is not the solution.
But we are writing to DCAC and the ICI.
Sir, to respect to you. We are chartered accountant, we are not the foolish.
That's agreed, sir.
So if this is something which is relevant to all, we can take it now.
Of course,
So that is what I want.
So write
Everything now. We can break, yeah, we can do that, Thank you. Yeah, that is what I was suggesting. So such things we can take offline. Okay, because these are the questions which we've asked from the members, so we want to address all the possible questions and then we can take your question. That the form 10IEA, right? So applicability of the same, we opt in, opt out.
Normal people are is opt out. Just for your knowledge, 2025 new revenue is default. 2024 new revenue was default. 2023 old revenue was default. Now it's now in 2023, forget it is the story is over. Counting of 5 years from that, that is also over. That time so now your studies also 2024. Not that same for Kothari. For this, 2022, if you are of, department, if you are because you are old incident, at that time you are of in. This year, if you want to go for name, by the same form, that is called opt out option. For example, last year you are filing university. This year you I have to file an old regime. So you can file an IEA consider option. So you have option of opt out in future. So and in here, we have a question. If first time if you are opting, then you have 10 IES for opt out. If first time it is what happening then is opt out. Then you can opt out. That is not seen over immediately seen on the if you are opting, then for 5 years you can go. We now any after 26 minutes, five things, you will please me. Five is not and seventeen is I believe, but if I have for do a lot of money, change the flow of this rather from here. So is the opinion I need.
Okay, so I think we.
Sir, which are right to British share, I see. 5 years. What is 5 years compulsory for the regime? First system gives that back, how does it change? Say, CPC is the preserver of the information. Whatever you write it, it is like data center from where data is not going to go on. It is there. And now AI technology is already preserving all your information. So when you file your return, then it is asking, when was the last form filed? So when was this file, form file acknowledgement number is being asked in the right here. So it automatically computes your details based on that acknowledgement number. So data is preserved over there. About 44AD and 44AE, one, when you have opted in this year, so this will be your this year plus next 5 years you have to opt. Means opt. This will actually 1 plus 5 this year. So suppose if your tax audit limit is so you can't expand, we have opted for this presumptive taxation this year. And next it will be a block of 4 years, next 5 years. So in that, suppose if your turnover limit crosses 10 crores, suppose that then you are liable to get your accounts audited. But since you have not opted out, you have not opted out, but then your option continues, but your turnover is already crossed the limit, but you are still in that within that limit. But suppose in after that year, the turnover comes out within that limit, and you are within that bracket, still you are within that limit. What is already. So you continue within that limit. So that is the second year. No, you will be there in that 5 years limit only. So that block continues to your 5 years, 1 plus 5 years. So next 6 years you have to continue within that bracket. But in between that 1 year, it is set your term. So that you continue in 6 years. So that 6 years blocks once it gets over, then nothing in that 7th year. 1 plus 5, then 6, 7, whether you want to opt in again or opt in. So in between, suppose in that 6 year, if you opt out, then in next 5 years you cannot opt again. Then you have to continue your maintain your books of regular books of accounts, and then you have to carry on your this to the audit one. Yeah. So that is what my reading says. That may be different about different opinion there.
You have a different opinion.
Because I don't know 5 years what the lock will be there.
I'm not sure. Income tax, now next year we have income tax at 2020. Let us see. Yeah. 1 crore, then 3 to 5, between 1 to 3 crore.
1, 2, 3, 10. There are 4 different varieties.
1 to 3 crores.
Okay.
1 to 3, and within 10 crore, 1 to 3 it comes to within that percentage amount. And then the profession you have.
Okay, next.
See, why we are discussing, see, we have been already, I think 3 years back, 80 we are already. So now 98% are memorizing, 5% are memorizing. Now, only which people are still learning, if you take for 7th class, you know HRA. कोई HRA वो अभी पहला कर देंगे, वो नहीं कर दो. English में.
They want to discourage
This
this. People want to go away.
Okay, but the thing this we talk about 3 years, what for 90 is you know,
Basically, the thing is that they can officially remove the because they have to give the because if they officially they tell that they want to stop, the people will start. So they want to discourage that. So officially they are not, but this time that people should all.
You will come and
It is adopted.
now
You will come to the.
First April 2026, next year.
before that we have one more budget. So we have to wait in February for that.
Okay, this is a very generic question, and that is GST turnover is now mandatory.
In returns, there is a GST turnover column mandatory.
Exactly.
GST will not. So some asset, real or something machinery or smartphones. So you this is explained करना ज़्यादा जल्दी है rather than putting something which is not correct.
Should the GST turnover not match with the what you put in the GST portal?
That is it. Yeah.
Well, money, including GST, but it's all combined. One way is make problem with other is let's see the figures. Like balance. You will get certain cancer. So it is on the it's correct report. In this, since we are not going to monitor and different things are the mind and this and this is a launch in there.
If you put zero, then also it is accepted.
That is the utility error. If you have a specification for the GST is the treatment. If you are not putting it, they are accepting it.
It's not the same for the reconciliation.
Internal.
If you mentioned it is not a utility error, actually, if you mentioned zero, means you would have not filed a green letter over it. No, so yes,
Zero is also valid figure.
Yeah.
Wrong figure, but it's a valid figure.
You are reporting the wrong figure over. Fine, no problem.
Okay, we'll take forward next question. It is related to agricultural land. So how to disclose agricultural land in sale, agricultural land sale in India and its areas.
They are written how to describe agriculture. There are two things. Rural agriculture in income from rural agriculture is not, they are taking a capital asset only. So it is not to be reported anywhere. Whatever you send for RFP, you have to report it. Because land is not us, it is not anything also, it is not. There is a transport in everything.
That rural agricultural land also has to be agricultural, right?
Yeah.
If it is not, if it is within that area, which is not treated as agricultural land.
It is agricultural and they were mentioned. So when if you are telling the land agricultural, they were mentioned agricultural. From that bracket it was agricultural, but आपने उसको नहीं करना था. Still it will be a agricultural. So we have given an example, the person was us, they will miss a very land for 50 lakh rupees. He is having an agricultural income of say 10 lakh rupees. Government is supposed to file the return. The answer they said no, because agricultural land is primary income, agricultural income is second income.
But isn't the agricultural income,
For tax purpose.
for district?
Only two things, agricultural income and sale of running land. In that case, he is not supposed to file it. Because see, it's not in the hand. But some amount of agriculture is around here.
Okay, just a continuation, if the sale is made in cash, whether it is allowed.
Yeah, now, there was, this is the FAQ questions, sometimes I will let you know. कोई टाइम मिलेगा ना, just please read the FAQs. 50% problems what we are discussing वो FAQ में डाला ही होगा. They are mentioned there. Simply, this is not, this is not, it's okay, mistake only. You just Google your CBDT frequently asked questions you put, you will get all the questions. In case somebody has asked that, when you say that normal land, if it's selling, it is not income only. But if I sell everything cash, specifically in return under section 270 a penalty, only up to 2 lakh rupees is allowed in cash. So it is a rural agricultural land, you cannot do transaction in cash. More than 2 lakh rupees. If I don't it, then the penalty will be levied. That is sure.
So then PAN will also be required to.
Can you go to transaction only? They will be reported. Most people will report their PAN.
1% tax, which needs to.
In all money, only alcohol. In rural, it is 1%. Fourth one, maybe more than 50 lakh rupees. It is really unlikely. There are 1% areas.
Withdrawal from provident fund, which is accumulated amount during the term when the person is earning salary income. Whether it should be shown under head salary or any other head.
This was a problem. For example, you are working in say LIC or whatever, and you have accumulated provident fund, and after 5 years, if you get it, it is accessible. After 5 years of thinking in the confusion was gone. Now they are specifically given this thing that accumulated provident fund which you in under 192A, if it is there, it is to be shown in force and not in salary. Because of salary with the 75,000 will alone. You will take the 75,000 also. So it is to be shown in cost and not in salary.
Also, the income from other sources. There is a specific format for preparing financial and audit cases. Then what about the non-audit cases?
Yeah, this is the question. I think we have discussed earlier also. They have told a vertical format or the schedule slide format for the audit cases. People are confusing that वो non-audit इसमें क्या करना है? Right? Present, what people do, whatever you see is horizontal is always understandable. Everyone is new and it is not going to report it anywhere. In audit, they will know that it's a vertical format. Other non-audit cases, still people are used and still people have not started doing in vertical format. So if the data is correct in original, same that sometimes if somebody says it, it's really I am doing it, it's giving me content. There is no sales or anything. It is just prepared by only for that.
So in case of NLT, ITR 5 we have to submit, correct? So do we require to submit there is no audit first?
Yeah, so you have to
No
see
financial.
audit, you have to send snapshots of the balance sheets.
Okay.
So आपको पता चल जाएगा how you have prepared. In non-audit cases, you don't have to attach the balance sheet only. The scanned copies are not to be attached.
Only just we have to put
Yeah, only the utility, just put the figures in
the loss, profit or whatever.
That is
Okay, many times when we are putting in figures perfectly fine, still there are any error messages or pop-up messages which are coming. What is the remedy to file such returns?
There is 90% of the proper business law. say from from your software. So he said the dividend, whether everything is been recorded or not, just say nothing. Because that message every time it comes. Yes, it comes last year it was coming this way. Say example your turnover is 1 CR and you are offering 6 lakh rupees. 6% or 44 AD. So definitely you can go for IDR 4. But if you are having a capital gains, so definitely you have to go for IDR 3. In IDR 3, say example, you are preparing your balance sheet here, everything properly. Say your profit is more than 6%. When you put all the figures, sales 1 crore, my expense 94 lakhs, my profit 6 lakh rupees, till the margin was coming, so you are profiting only 6% and not 80%. So maybe some something or something. So I think on that, when you are when you create a balance sheet figure, पूछा नहीं था कैश में कितना नॉन कैश में कितना so अंदर was having a problem that sir ये 6% ले रहा है 8% में ले रहा है that's why that pop-up message was coming but if you say it is correct just ignore करो आ गया है that is the only thing now you are given cash non cash from your to that figure I want to that is not that you can not or by not you not if you put all sheet paper in one, actually nobody is you have more values to not. So that way the pop-up was coming. Whatever return may be 100% perfect. If this pop-up comes, just if you are correct, just ignore the just fine. So when you once then you will really problem. If it comes, then you have to explain it. But it is not an entry space there. If we have to also really you have to just reply on that is when
Under new regime, any benefit for senior citizens, super senior citizens?
there are senior citizens, so sorry, sir. No benefits. The old regime,
We had under
3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, in any regime, now 12 lakhs. So benefits in new old or senior citizen or super senior citizen because anyway they are increase the limit to 12 lakhs. Otherwise, old regime limit is or benefit not affects so super senior 500.
Okay, after filing 10 IEA, before due date of filing return, if a person wants to change the regime that to before due date, is it possible?
Not possible. Even before the due date, you are trying to change.
Even not possible. Once it is done, it's done. Once.
Okay. So we'll move to the next one. Do NRI get benefit of 87A rebate or the benefit of basic exemptions?
NRI gets the benefit of basic exemption, but NRI doesn't get the benefit of additional aid. There is only change. If you are NRI income of 3 lakh rupees, no tax. But if NRI has income of 1 lakh rupees, no 87 related, you have to compulsory pay the tax on them. There is only change in NRI. Otherwise, in NRI, you get the basic exemption. They also have the right to get the basic exemption. Only 87 rebate is not for NRI. It is basically 87 is only for Indian resident, individual and HU. Otherwise, nobody gets to 87 rebate.
Okay, this is an interesting one. People,
As an NRI, foreign remittance, I'm based there, I'm working there. I send 50 lakh. It is exempt.
Yes, yes. Yeah, definitely. It's not income.
You are getting the NRI pay
no.
If you have an
Question.
income, you have to
here
Ah,
say you have income 4 lakh rupees.
in India.
Then you cannot tell that sir 7 lakh ka tax nahi hai. For you only this is the limit. 87 rebate is only for Indian resident. And it's otherwise it's not for NI.
So non-Indian income it is fully exempt, but Indian income up to 3 lakh also
3 lakh.
exempt.
yes.
About
The basic
that,
exemption.
Normal, you have to compute the normal tax. That 87A rebate what is available, that 87A rebate is not available.
to NRI.
Yeah, that is it.
Okay, so there's an interesting question. If a person stays in residential house on weekdays and in farmhouse on the weekends, whether both can be considered as SOP?
Yes. Because now everyone knows there are two houses. So if you have a farmhouse, you are staying sometimes over there, and weekend you are staying here, both the SOP, you have to show any. Both are considered as SOP.
Okay. How to compute income from property where the flat is self-occupied for part of the year and LOP for part of the year?
This also question is in, as you already mentioned in the website. If part of the year is SOP, part of the year is let out, they will clearly mention only you have to mention the rent it will be got for the let out. You have to offer that only the contract will be the and not to mention that same matter of same relation. Now we will show the how is the let out only. The name of the property and the property and half let out, half back, but without insulting out.
You don't pay green dividend or green for the parties if you let out.
No, SOP, every two properties is allowed. There is a question.
Okay, in presumptive returns, 2 crores, 3 crores. It's the same.
Yeah, this is a different one. How to compute a house? It is partly SOP and partly later. So example number 2 or 3. One more study and how it is a one. In slide mentioned one. So this इसलिए मैंने कहा कि आपको दोनों दिखा it is only right out. See, anyway, if you don't say the word property, then you don't see it. Then you don't make your money. So you want to show this whatever practice to show this only. That is not compulsory. That is not without. In this case, if you are a part, the paragraph one room you are saying that you show us. How is this is also proceedings later. Same here, same name, everything is same.
If somebody has taken a home loan for two out property, so how much is allowed? 2 lakhs or 4 lakhs? 2 lakh only.
So,
Why, what is the logic behind the two ways of?
Okay. Exact distinguishing between the 2 crores and 3 crores in case of presumptive returns.
Yeah, I also was initially they mentioned 3 crores where you have that cash component of 105 crores. Government किया क्या चीज? Change is that when you file a basically 40 in direct Clearly mentioned that part में use cannot get only credits, not more than that. That is the only change. So basically now it's now change over in 3 crores, you say that my cash component is 1 crore 4 lakh rupees and 1 crore 93 rupees is not people accept. So between 3 only if cash component is less than 5, otherwise it is not. ये basically I understand that ये makes your clear otherwise lots of confusion. Still people don't have the crores initially people used to find audit if your profit was 36%. But now let's do whenever is everything your property level 6%, this system nothing happens because now experience is not there. So now after money before नीचे we already timing. But still I believe in this case with this your cover is 100 is do already complete. Loss चला जाएगा they give you big profit.
Yeah.
Then वो फिर आप इंस्टीट्यूट से मालूम करते हैं तो उनकी आप
Okay. Any specific income which has to be extracted and is not easily available from books of accounts or AIS, TIS, 26As.
Can anyone tell me? It is the information. Interest on loan from private party is not mentioned in AIS. सबको मालूम है. Still one information is there in the system, but normally it is not seen. We forget it. There's only one thing is that interest on refund. Refund.
So it is coming now.
Everywhere is not, yeah, it's only mentioning, no, the refund is over.
Now start.
Last 50 AI me, is mentioned. This is so that is coming, otherwise it's not coming. Where I'm telling you, in fact, it is better, if it is better, interest from, income and refund 10,000, which was also there. After that, you can see where the interest is going. Other because operators, refund आया नहीं और क्या करो? Sometimes happens, you don't charge fees, the interest will fees, but you get something agriculture अगर you are, if you say your computation, know that it is, you are in goods cases, please check it out. Interest तो होता है, लेकिन आपका adjust करें.
Correct.
So interest, next way is that whenever we calculate, 143 in order of last year, so what we call that, this is not this is significant order of models. Interest on IT refund that you have to extract from there. वो आपको कहीं नहीं मिलेगा, वो आपको यहाँ extract किया.
Correct.
And this will go on income from other sources.
Yes.
In that account, for this stuff, now we got line item income will
Just mention it over there, otherwise there will be a scrutiny, this notice for that.
Okay, last year,
last question, I'll take it out in the rebate. Rebate is 25,000. कभी किसी ने सोचा है 20,000 मिलेगा कैसे? Have you ever received? No.
87.
Rebate is 25,000.
No, it was making basically the 3 to 6 था तभी वो 25,000.
Correct.
अभी 3 to 7
Initially, 3 to 6 was 15,000, 6 to 7 was 10,000, so tax was 25,000, maybe 25,000. Then they increased the limit to 7 lakh rupees. Now, this is the तो सोचिए लोगे कैसे? क्योंकि सिंचाई का जो ड्राफ्ट के अंदर बैठी और तो नहीं है. Well, only one possibility is there, that is agriculture. So, for example, your income is 7 lakh rupees, and your agriculture income is 2 lakh rupees. So 9 lakh rupees का tax कितना रहता है? 40,000. So 3 to 7, 20,000. 3 to 9, 20,000. So tax will be 40,000. And you get an agriculture margin only for the 2 lakh rupees at the number say 5,000, 10,000 rupees. So your tax will be 30,000. In that 30,000, because your normal income is less than in that case, you get 22,000 in tax will be only 5,000. Otherwise, balance will be calculated after figure or tax will be 30,000. Only in this cases, bigger income or saving from lotteries or duplication. The normal income is less than 7 lakh rupees. 87 is always be there. Initially, there was confusion. This year, if your income is say 6 lakh rupees and your company is 1 lakh rupees, you got a very good medicine. You said, इससे income में वैसे लोग tax ले रहे हैं अलग से. You don't get any benefit. So if your normal income is less than 7 lakh rupees, you get the rebate of 20,000. In this agriculture income only, you get a rebate of 25,000. This has been checked with utility. Utility दे रही है. अभी बाद में आपको पता चलेगा utility गलत ही तो है. normally the similar time जब मैं घर से निकला ना तब की utility is not given. हम प्राइस में काम करना नहीं.
okay, so we've done with general questions. We'll come to capital gains, specifically capital gain questions. And 23rd July, very iconic date. So, sir, 23rd July का indexation में benefit exactly.
First thing is that on 20th July, people used to say that before 20th July and after 20th July, actually there's a reason is before 20th July and on and after 20th July. 20th July is also this one only. Sometimes there's a question with 20th July, why 20th July? Because what you like. Okay, you want to It's whether it's applicable or not applicable. It is not. It is 23rd July is considered the full day. So it is,
Basically, it is good that before 11 a.m. they are not full.
so up to 22nd July there is one law. After 20th July it's second law. Now on that day only simple name is mentioned. Indexation benefit gets over after 20th July. Initially at the budget, it is the 23rd July. You get a benefit of over 10% of infrastructure rates. And 20 July. Must spend 5%. बाद में बहुत वो जो क्लाइंट ये थोड़ा benefit. Now, simple line they mentioned which is the benefit. So there was a really crazy stuff पूरा उन्होंने game में दी. There was a really crazy part. What we are consuming. Now, before 20th July, your option was either 3% on the difference of your sale purchase or you should get from the increased profit. After 20th July, it is not really. It is rupees, you selling for 50 lakh rupees, you will pay dividend 40 lakhs 3 months. Given that if your question are coming to the they will carry no money. And people is still 12.5% own money. After they get voted, we started their given, it is given that it has calculated turnover. So, money is different as the markets, and we pay 12.5%. Index profit, say index of taxes, say 25. Index answer is coming 400. So, total extra profit 5 lakh rupees. Index 400 rupees. Section 1 to 70 meter. 1 lakh rupees. You are something like 8 or something. For you to get it. It's not mentioned. If you will utility only, I am expecting such a online water. My utility the website, the bank answers on the heart. In utility, there is schedule aside. In that way, if you see, it will mention companies, complex. It's will not only 2 levels. It will not only 5 levels. That 3 levels is already in the other area. So, so after 20th July, you don't have others. The July, you would have mentioned, say, example, your indexation coming 40 lakh rupees, and your normal profit is 50 lakh, indexation is 12 lakh rupees. Capital gains mentioned only 10 lakhs and not 40 lakhs. Before 20th July, capital gains is 10 lakhs, tax is 4 lakh rupees. After 20th July, you change say somebody, they will mention it, capital gains 40 lakhs. That's really because you have option of it. Only I will cover that question also, it's coming after that. Because of that, people are lending with surcharge even though he is having income less than 5 lakhs. Say example in this case only, 10 lakhs of money your sword was 20 lakh rupees. Say your indexation is 7 lakhs. So capital gains will come 0. But they say your capital gains is 60 lakhs. And your normal income, say example is 10 lakh rupees, it comes to 70 lakh rupees. In 70 lakhs, on 60 lakhs, tax is 0 on special income, and on 10 lakhs, the tax is say 40,000 rupees, and basic on 50 lakh rupees, 10% certain rupees. This wrong. Because your capital gain check more than 50 lakhs. You will be certain also. So that nobody knew that we have to pay 10% or 15% or 20% or 20%. It's even not income more than one systems. These servers have 5 or 8 revenues. These servers will we can search for 5. My tax is only 1 lakh rupees or 2 lakh rupees, whatever comes the fee. There is a biggest change on 20th July and utility is absolutely perfect. It is definitely that way only. You can check student SI. They have mentioned it is 12.5% only. Maybe that's it is wrong. It was telling us about next week in the markets. There is a change.
Okay, this is relating to indexation. Now, short-term loss set-off, which we used to do for long-term capital gain. Is there any different version after 23rd July?
Now, for example, Short-term loss is the 5 lakhs. Who sold a property for purchase of one lakhs, sold for 20 lakhs. So my actual property is 40 lakhs. And say my indexation amount is 40 lakhs. So my index profit is 10 lakhs and my actual profit is 40 lakhs. I will choose before 30th July, actually index profit was considered only 10 lakhs. Okay. And you know, short-term is no. Short-term loss is set off against long-term. Vice versa is not possible. Short-term against long-term. In this case, the 10 lakhs में से 5 lakh adjust हो जाएगा. It gets adjusted 5 lakh rupees, and you have to pay tax only on 5 lakh rupees. Either indexation में आपको 5 lakh रुपए देना. After 20th July, only less than 5 lakh rupees, the 5 lakh loss will get adjusted not from your index profit. It will get adjusted from your profit. Because after 20th July, the profit is 40 lakhs and not 10 lakhs. So 40 lakhs में से 5 lakh निकल जाओ. Because in what we said, finance means the market you get only for 12.5%. Because you have paid, you opted for indexation scheme after 20th July, and in 10 lakh rupees, you are paying 2 lakh rupees. So 5 lakh rupees does not set off at the rate of 20%. It will set off only at the rate of 12.5%. Because for them, after 20th July, there is nothing like capital gains on property 20%. For them, it is capital gains at the rate of 12.5%. So whatever loss you are having, compulsory it gets adjusted 1.5. Even though you have opted for indexation scheme for calculation of the tax, for them it is only 12.5. So that is the biggest change. If before 20th July, or after 20 is of the term, your profit will be 5 into 20%. After this, yes, minus minus 5 9.5. So 7.5% is the loss.
Okay, there is a short-term capital loss on shares, long-term capital gain on shares, capital gain on property. So whether equity share, short-term loss, can it get adjusted against share profit, or there is some different calculation procedure over
We have
here?
covered, we covered that only, right?
Okay. So it has,
Both.
it has been seen that 23rd July, the rate have changed.
Now, before 20th July, everyone before 20th after. Now I have a long-term gain of 10 lakh rupees before 23rd. I have a short-term loss of 5 lakh rupees before 23rd. Same way after 23rd, I have a 10 lakh rupees long-term and short-term 5 lakh rupees. सब कैसे होगा? पहले वाले के सामने पहले बाद वाले के बाद में कैसे करोगे? Transactions done before 23rd July. What is your it will be before this and after this, and how much will I set off? This is the answer. Otherwise, see, so much, but rates are different. Long term, initially it was 7%, after 5%, shorter is 3%, after 20%. Correct. Okay. So it is not very good. I will. One problem is that 20 is not having only minimum game of beyond budget, which is it is a potential event. You don't know more. And first I have capital gains may change down and regular changes, but this time what I'm saying was that whatever is beneficial to the SSC the draft. So answer that. वो question है, वो 120 किसके सामने होगी? Second one, 5%, you are 115%. Beneficial to the assessment. Because I think they must have resumed that way. Increase value of that. It maybe part is after 9 months, after 9 months. So the mere to the revision करते हैं. तो only the result the ability literally so many combination and they are release and ability over time. You are spend loss, profit. Lots of combinations for that's why okay now. It is separating that one.
Okay, capital gain calculation system has changed from after 23rd July. That is done. So still whether 54, section 54 deductions impact are same or they also have to.
Yeah. Now, one question was that what about 54 deduction, 54 AF or capital gain on scheme? इसमें it is good for SSD. Say after 20th July, 10 lakh of property was sold for 50 lakh rupees, and those say your property is 40 lakh rupees. But your index is 10 lakh rupees. While calculating tax, the index profit less 54 can be. So if you invested somebody from flat 9 lakh rupees, then you pay the tax only on. So those will be the taxation part, but still section 52 benefit, capital gain scheme benefit, or local recognition bonds benefit, everyone bonds, all can be done. Still remains for the tax. The tax will be after calculation of section 50. So that they are done. If you are asking invest करना है कि मुझे दूसरा invest करना है, ये तो if my profit is reflecting 40 lakh rupees, so to invest 40 lakh, so I will do 10 lakh rupees. You can only get only 10 lakh. Invest 40 lakh.
Okay, so I think the next question gets covered by it. As you said that short-term capital loss can be set off against long-term capital gain property, but if property is sold after 23rd July and taxation is offered on indexation basis, do calculations are
That's what I told you. You are not selling by files. You are going to make it only 20%. If you are those factors. Yeah. And one more thing, you have short-term loss, you have long-term gain, and you have long-term gain on sorry, those such is you have long-term gain shares, you have long-term property. So what this children is, there is long-term gain on property, but they will be maximalities. You have a long-term gain of 10 lakh rupees, and you have a long-term gain of shares of, for example, 7 lakh rupees. So 5 lakh is the benefit so. शेयर के सामने शेयर की कैसे है शॉर्ट टर्म लॉस ऑन शेयर बजट लॉन्ग टर्म लॉस ऑन शेयर्स engage long term gain on property short term margin shield because in short term gain more money security long term gain on shares. So what's this it is still very conscious. You have a number of your big change your retirement plans. And this way is also beneficial to this.
Okay. Capital gain calculation system of 23rd July applicable to all types of assets?
No. 23rd July के बाद का जो सिस्टम है इंडेक्स और नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट 12.5% और इंडेक्स 20% it is only for period accident and actual for NRIs they are also not this. NRI don't get this indexation benefit. Before 23rd July they used to get the benefit. So practically this more utility was rate there are so many options. Before 23rd July Indian system. NRI Indian give their benefit. So what if there is a extension? For TDS on how much TDS is related? It is 5. So between 20 and 1. So because of the problem will be Practical text comes, it comes to 15.1. The thinking is now, it is about the observing of property from any, it is 7.5%. Initially, people used to get 22%. 20 plus 2 plus 4 plus 20 to 28. Now, if this is before 20th of July, he said I am having for so, in case of property, in case of marriage, it is 14.3 and normally it's 3.1. Whatever it is.
It is seen in last year, many have deducted TDS on rental property at 5% instead of 2. And has to face problem of refund, whether TDS is deducted more,
Anyone
it
has
will create any
been
problem.
service. TDS of rental till certain of those 9%. TDS of rental property is 5% after certain 2%. So people, after rent pay little. If you have a rent is 15,000, give a check of 95,000. So up to September, they give 95,000. After September, you need to check. So you will not just because we are not there. So the conclusion was that if you return monthly, half-yearly, quarterly, and daily, it is only analysis. So our solutions which you actually needed from us. Or extra installment, I feel like I can make a green rupees.
Yeah.
It's not this. Even of the systems, the land, the people don't have a something like what बैंक में तो हम obviously हमें कल को मतलब मेरा 50 क्यों काटा आपने so हमें यहाँ से your procedure on the procedures you go to Indian and you can there were a lot of booking to other people are thinking that we are very much by myself ये भाषा में नहीं है and why this is, I will let you know, in individual areas, there are two systems. One is paid-based, one is paid. Paid-based system, whatever is the current command, only will be get reflected in 20 seconds of another one. If you आप मेरी बात में कुछ जो भी काट लोगे, उससे आप इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा. Looking at 10 words, now the reason one of the units and which included 10,000 in what is this area, you get a very good response. And it is open because sometimes what happens, client TDS with calculating GST also. We never know. People are like, so, every page you give active. Every page only given only response now. Don't give anything extra, or you will not know.
Okay, by mistake, tax or TDS is deducted for wrong assessment year, whether it can be rectified by EC procedure. Do we have any
just
remedy?
highlight it, maybe people may not be knowing. TDS sometimes you are paying for a client over I pay 10,000 instead of 25, 26, you pay out 24, 25. You are not there. TDS, everyone knows that TDS can be before 1.5. If for this episode is if you have paid the TDS for 26, 27, you can use this year also, nothing 27, 28. But everyone knows that the system regularly. India one year before, Korean also 100 grams. Before 30, assessment year 40, so down TDS 5, 7 and demand everything can be used either or use it for or what is it because it is 10 years old steel. In the system only takes it your action. They are considering it is possible. If you want to change Which is working. So it's not a one is a patient on which is by next. That's what we do. It varies. So here is an option given change the assessment here. You change the assessment here or you can select each individual only. There is no. This line sales for the sales can say. Then you find by 24, then you stop 27 also. So that very very Your date is 30th September. If the pen is active as started, then he wants to go. Other pen is your put size wrong pen number. Na? So I have rectified. Then we have instead of pen number, you know pen number. And still you have the pen number. You know, maybe that's Press is for I guess we get the next one. We get to have this number. Student system is there. EC, maybe you have PSC, ESC, even when it has been checked, you might be know. The simplest procedure. This is really working very well nowadays.
In case of redevelopment of property or joint development agreements, any specific instructions while signing it?
This is why I mentioned, if you will open the utility in the capital gains part, in this purchase and sale consideration, they are specifically mentioned over there. In case of any joint development agreement with the builder, they not bring agreement to say. Sometimes what are people are in confusion. तो सिंगल मसला है कि पेपर का डालना है वो बीए का डालना है कि मिला वो डालना है क्या डालना then it is sincerely mentioned that agreement resume non-development agreement should be pre-defined agreement because only there is an agreement which is primarily on the agreement so they will say
No. So whether valuation is compulsory for any property which was purchased before April 2001?
see the index slab has changed from 1981 to 2001 and now if you have bought the property in 1980 and you are selling it now they have to that 2001 valuation will be considered but on online for Bombay I know you have a Bombay stamp type website over there put the your CTS number or village, you know, Bombay, there are the Bombay, Angeli, Malad, Ixar village, all the villages there. Go to specific village. In the village, it is mentioned. CTS number 13097, is this. So, I get it is this. So, you are getting the CTS number, you have village is number. And the village is mentioned. In the village, Muslims, village 10,000, Northern states, village 15,000, this is the village. On state or something like it. आपको नीचे कंसर्न नहीं करना ओके सो कोई गाइड नहीं नॉर्मल से पास eventually otherwise make sure that unknown money करना था because what people say sir I have a financial I have renovation किया है मैंने तो वो valuation करके ज़्यादा दो so that 3.63 indexation will come more. So only for that reason people were going for valuation and also to the safer side because on the property you are not sure its value क्या है. But Moderator proper value also takes the same value from the ranking. You also don't give any other rate. So if you don't want to valuation, you can just take that rate. And it is very easy on the website. वो तो आपका खुद का घर का कल चेक कर लेंगे. You will get the rate. Bombay stamp type that we are prevailing.
Okay, we've covered all the major questions which are over here and anyone with question? Yeah.
It will be different, but there is a lot of confusion, that is why I asked it. Nowadays, Reserve Bank has stated one rule for the banks that in case the trust has trust income is exempted, then only those trusts are allowed to operate savings bank account Otherwise, their trust account has to be converted into current.
Hmm.
Now, in which certificate or in which case the bank can say, or which certificate bank can rely for trust exemption, the trust income is exempted.
Out of quality, who I don't be against this, I think he's the right person for this.
Thank you.
Prime number is.
Which one?
Prime number is.
Acha, 1010C.
Same name, where the certificate नाम 10
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Ladies, sir, I have a very basic question. There's a client of mine who has been having a consistent income of around 4 crores to 6 crores. Effectively, and satisfying all the conditions that there is no cash deposit of less than 5% in everything. So he has been insisting me that he has spoken to someone else saying that I'm one of the auditing bureau. So why is he doing my auditing job? So I'm not covered the audit. I have an income between 4 to 6 lakh rupees, 4 to 6 crores. So audit level is about 10 crores. I'm not an individual. I'm doing that daily income. So I should be off for it. My argument to him is that if you're assuming a 6 crores profit, 6 crores sales, he's showing an income which is less than 6%. He should improve 4%. Just for that condition, saying that the since your total gross income is less than 4%, you have to go for audit. He's arguing that no, all the other conditions of 5% everything. So I'm not on the presumptive income. So 4480 and 4480 are not applicable to each. So I can show income within 6%, I can show 4%, 5%. Because I satisfy all the two conditions, all the payments are CCTS, I'm going to not need cash for my expenses. So what's this line?
He is correct. He is correct. He is correct. There is no audit. There is no audit. Audit is not applicable to him. Because that presumptively doesn't fall within that presumptive limit. It is below it is because once it crosses because 3 crores, that criteria is less for less than 3 crores. So 5 crores, that 6%, 8% is for less than 3
It
crores.
is really surprising. If you have a turnover 3 crores, government says that we should have a profit of 18 lakh rupees. But if you earn 3 crore 1 lakh rupees and you say profit 3 lakh rupees, no problem, no audit. Okay, do it. So for current year, same SSC has total
No. Yes, less than
3 to 7, you show anything. You show 1 rupee also, no problem. 3 crores.
So below 3 crores, we have to mandatorily show 3 crores.
Basically, between 3 and 10 crores are good people. So that's the problem. Below 1 crores are not good people. 3 to 10 are good people. So the same as March 25, they show an income around 7 6.8 crores. The total profit is showing.
Is the individual or
Is
is
an individual.
yeah, not no problem. No, tax audit is not applicable for me.
And is showing a profit of 9 lakh.
No problem, no problem, not at all. The tax audit is not applicable. Please refer to the guidance note.
Between 3 and 10 crores, so if they show less than 6%, no tax.
No tax.
Which show loss also there is no audit.
Okay.
In case of a religious or charitable trust who have registered with the Commissioner of Charity, and then they have to apply for the exemption from the income tax department by submitting the form. And so that within 6 months, okay? They have to apply within 6 months.
First they get provisional, within 6 months they have to apply for the final.
No, it's the final one, but they have to apply with the income tax, get the exemption of ADG, all exemption of all the contribution, all the income. But they have not done. So what is they have to apply?
They will be given the trust will be liable to pay full tax on that. Means whatever the profit is there, if they don't get the exemption, I don't know, they'll have to pay 30% tax.
No, is there any solution that we can apply for the condemnation of that? To the
Yes,
Dharma ka ayuk bhavan.
no, no.
Yes, sir.
In case of belated return, after the expiry date of belated return, filing of belated return with the prior permission of principal income tax commissioner, whether principal commissioner has got the authority to put some conditions that interest cannot be claimed.
Yes, so there's a full set of rules which you can refer to the notification which is there.
But in that notification, there is no such condition.
Condition is not, it has the power to condone the delay and all. That is.
He has condoned them.
Uh,
He has put that one sentence that assessee cannot claim the interest on the refund.
So that condition is there because that will be there in that.
Presently, it happens that way. Yesterday only I had applied for refund. Somebody expired 4 years back because of legal hire issues and everything. 143 order was generated immediately after the filing of return, and I think within 10 days.
Basically, the thing is that when you, the refund, the kind of provisions in income tax is there, that refund is, in the case of such type of returns, you get the return, refund from the date of filing the return only. Provision is such, so in that case, he is right, because he has given you that, so that when you file the return from that date, you get the interest, not before the period which is been lapsed, because if you file the return in time, then from, you get the return interest on the first date from the time.
First generation of
Then order. And this is the correction.
Filing of return was not possible because of the problem from the income tax side. Because the.
Then you have to, you file the return and then you go in appeal and get this.
So then lot of practical difficulty in joining the together to the panel decision because of the conditions.
Now this conditions,
Now it's very
now
easy.
it is conditions are very much simplified.
Very
You can just, if the joint account is there, you can write it to the bank's letter also, with the bank's letter also, you can write.
I nominate it, I'm talking of a situation where none of these conditions are being.
Bank can do the letter.
Bank can also with the bank's letter also, you can.
Yesterday I did the same.
See the bank, the bank's account, if you are not, see the person with the joint bank, your bank with joint. If it is not, then that is, this is not, then that is a private.
How can they give the money to somebody else when they don't know is a legal hire or is not a legal hire?
One is different one. There is a situation where the SSC is not satisfying any of those concerns like a will or.
So then this is a typical issue, then it can, this is separate issue, then there has to be a procedure which has to follow, because these things, when it comes now, they have to follow a set of procedure which has to be done, and then anything towards somebody else can come and claim tomorrow, they have to follow a set of rules.
Sir, banks normally insist for succession certificate.
Yes, definitely, for that they have to follow when something, because somebody, because when the money has to be given to the rightful person, when the rightful person cannot be established, it cannot be given the authority. They have to control.
Making a claim to the bank or.
Sir, you are right, but they also have to
Talking
verify.
about the joining of the.
For that purpose, see,
For filing the returns.
for that purpose also, for see, when you are doing anything with the government, you have to give, the authority has to be given to the rightful person, and for that documentation has to be done. Then you need to follow a set of rules, without that it cannot be.
Means legal hire has to
Yes,
be
yes,
established.
yes, established, for that you cannot, nobody can be registered without.
Probate is not compulsory,
Yeah.
succession is not compulsory.
Yeah, this question was there.
Only a bank letter is compulsory.
So they have made a set of rules such so simpler now, so that we need to follow them. If some question was there, the last question will take it because we have more complete use.
Suppose I have.
Sir, please, let me take the last question. What was the last question of somebody?
Anyone from there with the last question?
Yeah.
The person is during the year died. Then how, I mean, could the legal representative file the return for the deceased? But I'm just asking, because you have done it practically, but how does the income tax officer come to know that this person now is?
Unless and until you inform, you doesn't come to know.
We have to inform by way of letter.
Yeah, no, not a way of a letter, you have to add a legal hair over that. That's it. Campus, yes, you have to.
Delay करके legal year signing पे you are filing it as a legal year.
If a person is giving up banking services, right? So the professional, so we can go for particular age, and
4488 is covered under get us notified for services and around 6 then of the 44, otherwise 44.
yeah, but then that GST, that GST.
20 lakhs, that limit is for all. This for the, you have to apply for the GST and for export of services and all, you have to apply. It gives, definitely. Yes.
And so, you said that for 1 to 3 crores, 6 to 8% minimum is required. This is only applicable if means we or she is not taking the books of account. If you are maintaining books of account.
You get the accounts audited.
If there is low.
Yes, sir, they have to get the result.
Power of 1.5 CR or kind of, and she has loss of around 36 lakhs.
Now,
She's waiting for some. Then now it is.
and now I think this audit is required because of new rules. Audit is required.
What is required?
Audit is
One
required.
reason is that
Audit is
you
required.
are doing F&O, whatever you are doing, for them it is a turnover. See, computer,
But I do properly under 144.
whenever you file the return, you will get a message, you are showing that profit less than 6%. If you want to proceed, that message will definitely come in your case.
So far, we have been doing tax audit for 3 to 10, and this year we don't do it 2 to 10. Less than 6%.
Not audit, audit is not required only.
So then, the due date,
Yeah.
but,
You are doing it at
You did not in September.
yeah.
You get September. Start doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not received it. No.
See, I have seen it, message comes. But technically, anyway, your turnover is more than 1 crore, then all the laws are applicable, and this audit law is applicable.
Okay, we'll close it away. Okay, thank you everyone for patiently listening, and thank you to the panelists out over here for running the marathon, Nilesh Vasa sir and Avinash Rawani sir, I think patiently handling all the queries. Thank you everyone, and we'll wrap up the session.
For all of you.